Hello, this is not a review. I'm just here to show you a kit that is done for now for me. I'll probably do some more work on it later, eventually. It's the Good Smile Moderoid Horizon Thunderjaw. This was a joy in many ways for me. First of all, it's the first Moderoid or Good Smile mech kit that I've actually built myself, and it presents very much like a Zoid. However, it doesn't get built like a Zoid at all, like a Kotobuki, HMM, high-end model master Zoid. It's much simpler to put together. It has a similar level of surface detail, I think, but much easier to put together and with much stronger joints. This has primarily overbuilt joints all throughout. Does not have a whole lot of articulation, and it takes a little bit of work to take advantage of the articulation that's there. You have to some joints slide in and out. But I do want to point out very, very quickly and early on here in this video that this is not what it looks like when you initially build it. I unfortunately didn't take pictures along the way because I'm still kind of just getting caught up with the whole process of producing content for this side hobby where I really want to focus on just enjoying it and learning stuff and not on the content creation side of things so much, and just be more casual about it. But it's very plain and plasticky by default. This does come with a pretty sizable sheet of water slide decals. The quality of decals is good. I had no issue with that. They're nice and thin, but they did not tear on me, and just in general, they were not difficult to apply. The order of them as well on the sheet I thought made sense. So it made the whole process very comfortable. And again, the sub-assemblies go together with these overbuilt joints. So I just did not have any worries about the kind of the finickiness that some other companies' kits have. I have since built one more Moderoid kit, an older one that is definitely a little bit more finicky than this, but I'll cover that separately. But generally, my experience with this is someone who has built a lot of kits, but is still, this is still in the learning process. It was overall positive. The exception being these whip antennas up here. Yeah, they're thin, and as you might imagine, fragile. Yeah, I broke one of them off. It's just like the V fin on a Gundam, but this has two of them, and they're much longer. So yeah, I broke one of them off. Not that big of a deal. Also, on the tips of those antennas, they don't give you the orange by default. So that's painted on there with some just acrylic marker, real quick and easy. Just had a color that was pretty close. So that's a pretty important detail that I strongly recommend. Otherwise, most additional details are pretty optional. But again, like I said, when you first build it, it doesn't look like this. This is actually, so the main things I've done to this are dry brushing and oil washing. So the dry brushing it's actually not even that good anymore. After I put the initial top coat on it, it took away some of the sharpness of it. But I got some bluishness into this. Some parts that are supposed to be metallic blue weren't. So I used dry brush technique just to very quickly and easily get some of that bluishness in here, into these side cannons here, up on these plates on top, these parts as well, or just dry brush, just pulled them off, dry brushed them. Got a little bit of blue into here as well. By default, all of this is just gray, just one single gray. Doesn't really send out any much in the way of highlights, even though plastic's a little bit shiny, but it just doesn't show definition in there. That made a big difference. Pretty much the whole frame has been dry brushed, but a lot of that doesn't come through all that much, but it helps a little bit to get a little bit of metallization to it. These here, these cables, these were important. Well, they're belts, aren't they? They're ammo belts. Dry brushing these was pretty critical because by default, you don't see any of that detail here. I definitely could have done a better job with that to hit the game accuracy, but it's so much better to have something than nothing. And dry brushing is just such an easy technique that anybody can learn and do with many different types of materials as well. When I first started doing dry brushing for Gundams and Zoids, I just did it with a Sharpie marker, a Sharpie um, oil-based permanent metallic marker, the kind that says store tip down, which is different. Actually, is that one oil or is that one alcohol-based? Those might be alcohol-based, right? Because it's the oil ones that are slower. This is faster. Anyway, we'll just put a little bit of that on a piece of paper, a bunch of it, and then just roll a Q-tip in it, dry that off, and then you can dry brush with that. Or, you can use whatever technique you personally prefer, but I so strongly recommend that. But then the oil wash, this is my first time ever doing an oil wash on a mech model like this. And that was super easy, barely an inconvenience. It was such a joy because I made it real thin, mixed it with made it, rather than just going with black or gray, made it kind of yellowish brown with just a little bit orange in there, which ended up tinting the plastic. I did top coat it first, but it did tint it a little bit, but this is all cleaned off. So when applied, the wash was as dark as you see down there in the crevice. And then I wiped all of that off with just the most basic and lightest of solvent, and the most lazy and quick technique of just using a low lint or no lint paper towel with the solvent on it. Just wiped it over the whole thing to effectively get kind of a panel wash on this rather than dulling all of it down and making it look really gritty and grimy and old and worn down and poorly maintained. So it ended up just kind of gaining a little bit of character and feeling a little bit more grounded, a little bit more believable and real. For real cheap, I used the cheapest oil paints in it, and real quick as well. So that was an enjoyable additional experience for me. But overall, I'm happy with the kit. Just know, as usual, these things are not going to look the way that you see on the box art or on the website. Those things are painted by professionals. If you want to see what this looks like, I recommend Googling around a little bit, find pictures of builds in progress or reviews that people have done without applying any additional paint or anything to it other than decals at most, and you'll see what it originally looked like. But I wanted to put a little more into it. I felt good about it, but I didn't care about it too much. I wasn't really stressing. I knew that if I messed up, it would be okay. It'd be a learning experience. I wouldn't feel like, I've got to do it again. I've got to strip this off, or I've got to get a new kit and start from scratch. So all positive experience for me. And just watch out if you get one of these. Watch out for these up here, and have fun with it. In general, pretty good thing, and a little bit more sizable than I thought. I mean, they give you the dimensions, but just the overall presence of it. You can make it lower. Oh, it also comes with a little stand you can put underneath to help hold it up that will hold its weight. I don't think there will be any issue with this sagging over time because, again, the joints are overbuilt. But if you do worry about that, they've got a little stand that's included that just attaches down under the belly and takes all the weight off of the legs for long-term use. That's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Remember, Gunpla and Gunpla adjunct hobbies are, they're personal, and don't let anybody tell you how to enjoy your hobby. Please don't tell anybody else how to enjoy theirs, and reject elitism actively if you can. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.